What's up, guys? Welcome back to Newswave. Well, yesterday, reviews went live for two major releases, that being Hellblade 2 and Paper Mario Thousand Year Door. And while controversy did follow one of those games, the other one pretty much scored exactly how we expected, and we'll go over all of that here today. Also, we are going to be talking about another shocking acquisition in gaming. This one, though, having to do with media and IGN, and then we also have that Snapdragon processor that was introduced along with Microsoft's new Surface line, and how exactly it's going to be doing in different games. So if you guys enjoy these videos, make sure you hit that like button, helps out a ton, and if new here to the SpawnWave channel, make sure you subscribe down below, and of course, members for the channel do get Newswave early. If you'd like to learn more about that, click the join button down below this video, and we're going to start today with Kingdom Hearts. It's heading to PC. Well, okay, no, actually it's been on PC. In this case, though, it's heading to Steam, which is a long-awaited announcement, but we have a trailer, and Square did celebrate the occasion with a new recording of Simple and Clean, absolute classic, obviously, for all the Kingdom Hearts fans out there. But, I mean, it was a pretty lengthy trailer going over all the different releases heading to the Steam platform, which you can see some of it here. And in this case, we'll have Kingdom Hearts HD 1.5 and 2.5 Remix, Kingdom Hearts 3 plus Remind, and then Kingdom Hearts HD 2.8 Final Chapter Prologue. These will all be available June 13th. They already have different Steam pages that are now listed, so you can wish list them there on Steam. And it is very funny to see this and go, oh wait, it has been on PC. It's been on the Epic Game Store, which has been kind of strange, I will admit, but obviously money changed hands from Epic to keep it there for, well, as long as we've seen now, leading up to June. But this will be big for anyone with a Steam Deck who doesn't want to necessarily sideload Windows or something like that, or someone who just likes using Steam and they don't want to get the Epic Game Store. Next month, they'll have all these Kingdom Hearts games there, and, you know, Square did talk about trying to go multi-platform. Maybe they're also talking about these different launchers on PC, and Kingdom Hearts 4 not only comes out on consoles, but maybe on Steam day one. We'll see. Also, we did have a new trailer for the Elden Ring DLC, which you can see that here. And this, of course, Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree. It says the shadow of the story can now be told. Learn the history of the realm of Shadow, the unseen land that will be revealed on June 21st. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are just under a month away from this releasing, and the trailer, I mean, exploded online. #1 trending. People are really excited for this, myself included. The only thing is I do need to go back and play the game. It's been a while, so like these different Souls games, if you're away from it for a bit and you go back, usually you die all over again and over again and over again. So got to get back into the swing of things. And I think I'm going to do that about a week before the DLC comes out, just so then it's also kind of fresh on my mind heading into the release. But exciting stuff there. As for the trailer, a lot of out of context and random stuff being shown that people are heavily speculating on. So a lot of mystery. Should be a lot of fun heading into June 21st. Oh, and it looks like we have our farewell message here from London Studios with PlayStation, which that, of course, was announced to be shutting down in February, so a few months ago, which we can see this posted up over on X from the official account, saying for over 20 years, London Studio has been home to some exceptionally talented and wonderful people in the games industry. As we close the doors and all go forward to new adventures, we wanted to say a heartfelt thank you to all our past and present players and colleagues who have supported us over the years. We've had one wild and wonderful journey, and yeah, indeed, dating back over 2 decades with The Getaway, which was a big one, but then they kind of went off into, I don't say more gimmicky stuff, but like they worked with obviously VR, Blood and Truth, which was a very good release, but then also like the Wonder Book and SingStar, that sort of thing. But they were working on some sort of fantasy, I guess, live service style game behind the scenes, and clearly didn't pan out, canceled, and then they're now being shut down completely, with this, I guess, being their final message. So yeah, unfortunate stuff, obviously, because I would have liked to have seen at least what they could have come up with when they stepped away from things like VR, but I guess we'll never know. Today's video is sponsored by Viture and their Pro Collection. Imagine playing your handheld system on a massive 135-inch screen anywhere you go. The Viture Pro XR glasses make this a reality with a simple plug-and-play solution. These glasses provide you with a full HD screen capable of 1 120 Hz with a peak brightness of 4000 nits. And by using the latest Sony panels with ultra clarity technology, there are no more blurry edges, and even small text is completely legible. The upgraded electromagnetic film gives you a maximum 99.5% opacity that can be changed on the fly to keep the focus on your game, and the Harman stereo sound with private reverse sound field takes the entire experience to the next level. The Viture XR Pro glasses support myopia adjustment, letting you dial in the perfect image, and has been certified SGS A+ low eye fatigue, causing less eye strain than phones or computers. You also have full content privacy with no image displayed on the outer lenses. The mobile dock is made with the Switch in mind, providing a maximum 20 hours of battery life, along with support for 2-player XR cinema and gaming. Viture and 8BitDo have teamed up to create the ultimate C controller compatible with Bluetooth devices like the Nintendo Switch, and is a perfect companion for the Viture neckband. It has the classic Xbox layout with the offset sticks, and the translucent smoky design gives off a high quality look and feel. I've personally been using the Viture Pro XR glasses with my Steam Deck, and playing recent PC releases like Ghost of Tsushima with its panoramic views looks stunning, and the combo makes for an awesome experience on the go. Click the link in the description below and use code SpawnWave to get 10% off the entire order. That's code SpawnWave to get 10% off your entire order. Experience a display like no other today. Thanks to Viture for sponsoring today's video. And guys, with some of the quick news out of the way, let's get into the bigger stuff. Let's start right away with reviews for Hellblade 2 and Paper Mario. First, we'll take a look at Hellblade 2, which we can see over on Metacritic, currently sitting at an 81, and it was a little higher. I think it was like an 83, and it's just slowly kind of moved down here a few points to 81, where it's currently sitting. That is on 85 critic reviews, and looking at the split, we have 61 positive, 18 mixed, and 1 negative. And this is an interesting set of reviews here, because it's certainly going to be a situation of where you fall on the balance between gameplay and visuals, because obviously you have to have, you assume, for a really good 95 Metacritic game or something, you have to have good gameplay and good visuals. It has to kind of work in tandem. But in this case, for Hellblade 2, it does appear that Ninja Theory has gone all out on the visuals. Now, I am playing this game, and apparently I'm more than halfway through it already. I'm into chapter 4. So according to people I've talked to, it's like, yeah, you're getting there already. So I've experienced some, just very impressive stuff, whether with the technology that they're using here for the different visuals, the facial expressions from these characters, the lighting, the way that the different characters interact with the environment and stuff. It is really, really cool looking stuff. But the gameplay does leave quite a bit to be desired here. However, we look at some of the reviews, we do have just outright perfect scores. Eurogamer gave it a 100, saying Hellblade 2 continues Senua's saga story with grace, confidence, surprising brutality, and thundering conviction. The Xbox Hub also gave it 100, said Senua's Saga Hellblade 2 is nothing short of stunning and more than capable of taking your breath away by some of the set pieces. And you're going to run into this a lot. In fact, there are many points where you'll play for about 40 to 45 minutes, and a lot of it is just holding up on the joystick and running through scripted events, which has led to some people, like, for example, Forbes giving it a 70, saying Hellblade 2 is a gorgeous game full of industry best visuals and cast performances. It is also not terribly fun to play. That I think is one of the biggest disappointing aspects for me as I'm going through it. For example, the Game Critic says, until now, I've liked each Ninja Theory game more than the last, and I can never deny the craft on display. Given that this is their first release since the Microsoft acquisition, I credit Hellblade 2 for not feeling compromised by corporate interests, but that only makes it more baffling that it lacks any real vision that I was able to discern. So the issue here with this game is it looks incredible, and it really is something that people should try out. Let's say you get a brand new OLED display. This is the game that I would recommend people fire up to see, like, the full capabilities of the display they just got, or a new monitor for your really nice gaming PC, right? But it's not one I would point to and say, okay, the gameplay here is incredible. it is very basic and shallow. And I think that's the unfortunate part, is they really didn't move the needle from the first Hellblade game. Although I guess technically this is doing the same. And what I mean by that specifically is the gameplay. Obviously the visuals here, I think, are untouched. Like, this is the high point at this time for visuals just outright. So I think if you go into this expecting more of an experience as opposed to a full-fledged game, I think you'll enjoy it, but just understand what you're getting into. And I would say watch some gameplay of it and see what you think. But hey, if you have Game Pass, you can technically just go ahead and download it. That's what I did. So I don't necessarily feel burned by throwing $50 at this thing. But again, check out some gameplay and see what you think from there. Next up, we do have Paper Mario Thousand Year Door reviews, which we could see this over on Metacritic, currently sitting at an 88. This, again, is out on Thursday, so tomorrow, which I actually like the Thursday release, and I wouldn't mind Nintendo continuing to do that. Just feels like you're getting it, or at least I do anyway, feels like I'm getting it a day early since I'm so used to Friday releases. Although we used to have Tuesday releases all the time back in the day, and we'd have Sunday releases from Nintendo with like different Pokemon games and stuff, but the Thursday release, I can get used to that, so stick with that one, Nintendo. But it is sitting at an 88. It was up, I think, over a 90 at one point. It's just kind of fallen a few points here and there throughout the day to that 88 on 68 critic reviews. As for the split, we have it at 66 positive and 1 mixed. I think the other one is just kind of TBA, or they didn't give a score for it. However, as we can see, there are many perfect scores. Places like Silicone Era giving it that perfect 100, saying Paper Mario Thousand Year Door is both the best Paper Mario entry and a Switch game everyone should own and play. VGC also giving it the perfect score, saying 20 years after its original release, Paper Mario Thousand Year Door remains a treasure with a refreshingly un-Mario-like script, a memorable, lovable cast, engaging turn-based gameplay, and more variety than your average Taylor Swift concert. The GameCube title is regarded by many as a classic entry in the Plumber's RPG lineage. On the opposite end of the spectrum here, the lowest score that they have recorded that would be mixed is from Eurogamer Portugal. It says Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door exudes charm in every block of paper and cardboard, with multiple secrets, combats, and puzzles around every corner. But absurd backtracking and low difficulty spoil the experience, which is very interesting because technically they've been able to mitigate some of that backtracking through different shortcuts. Like they have a spring apparently that'll kind of bounce you back and skip past some of that backtracking, or a warp pipe that pops up, but there is still some in there, just not as bad as the original. And I do think another aspect you can point to for a lower score like this would be having the frame rate from 60 to 30, but it looks better than the GameCube version by quite a bit when you stack them next to each other, and you would expect that. I mean, the GameCube version is 20 years old now, so I would hope this one looks better on significantly stronger hardware with the Switch and that Tegra X1. But this is an easy recommendation. I played the original on the GameCube, absolutely loved it, and it's still my favorite Paper Mario game to this day. And to think there's a whole new audience that'll be experiencing this for the first time is good stuff. And I do hope Nintendo looks at the sales for this. I think it'll do pretty well. And they kind of think about it and go, okay, maybe that is the direction, that more turn-based RPG style. Don't get too weird with the combat system and stuff for the next Paper Mario. Maybe take a page out of this book here with Paper Mario Thousand Year Door and try something like that. Maybe just a slight spin or alteration on it. But yeah, I'm excited to pick this one up. I will be getting it physically, have it alongside the GameCube version on the shelf, and I'll play through it all over again like I did 20 years ago on the GameCube, and I'm sure I'll have a blast. Next up, let's talk about a shocking acquisition in games. And no, it doesn't have to do with a video game company. It has to do with Games Media and IGN, who in this case is reporting on IGN. We can see this posted up over on their website, where they say IGN Entertainment has acquired the Gamer Network family of digital brands for an undisclosed sum. Gamer Network's publications include GamesIndustry.biz, Eurogamer, Rock Paper Shotgun, VG247, and Dicebreaker. The business also holds shares in Outside Xbox, Digital Foundry, and Hookshot, which operates Nintendo Life, Push Square, Pure Xbox, and Time Extension. Now they don't mention it here, which I guess kind of makes sense. I don't think IGN wants to mention this, but apparently there have been any redundancies that were created from this, which, yeah, means layoffs. And in fact, some are already posting over on social media accounts that they have been laid off and they're looking for work. And that's basically what happens when we have these acquisitions or mergers. You have two different positions then sit alongside of each other that do the same thing. Now, people, of course, concerned about places like Digital Foundry. John Linneman did say over on his X account, saying it will not negatively impact Digital Foundry. Don't worry. I can only assume that's because they had shares in Digital Foundry, but not necessarily like full control or ownership. Like now, GamesIndustry.biz, Eurogamer, Rock Paper Shotgun, VG247, and Dicebreaker. To my understanding, Eurogamer and Digital Foundry are partnered, so that relationship I'm not 100% on, but I'm hoping it doesn't affect Digital Foundry. This has, of course, brought up the concern around, it sounds strange, but consolidation in games media. I mean, technically now it's IGN you'd assume, have control of all these different publications. So yeah, they can run different viewpoints, directions and stuff, and just kind of push it through a large portion of the industry at that point when it comes to journalism. But it still just seems very weird to have this much control under one entity for, yes, advertising, but also just narrative that can be put out there. Now I wonder about just the future of some of these other different outlets, because this just kind of happened randomly. It's just, oh yeah, here we go. This happened. IGN reporting on IGN buying a bunch of outlets. So we'll see what the future holds for many of these different places, since, again, I feel like a lot of layoffs and who knows, maybe even just outright closures will happen in the future. But very, very strange stuff in games media right now. And in our last bit of news, let's talk about that Snapdragon Elite X processor. Now, this is an ARM-based processor that Microsoft is using in their new Surface line. They have a new laptop and a Surface Pro 11 that's set to release next month. And yeah, they're not exactly cheap. Like the Surface Pro, I believe, that would have this processor is the OLED model, and that starts at $1,500. So they're going to have to get that price down if they eventually want to get to the end point of what I think be the Xbox handheld. However, we need to see how this thing does in different games, right? Well, we can see this posted up over on Windows Central. It's a very good write-up here from Jez Corden, kind of outlining some of the things that were mentioned, even shown off actually at this event, which you can see a video here. This is of Borderlands 3 playing on that Snapdragon processor. And the big thing here with the ARM-based processor, of course, would be the battery life being better than what we see with x86 and the overall heat that's created, which is a big thing for Surface the last couple generations. They get pretty hot. But Borderlands 3 here, which is running, is cool. We also have Baldur's Gate 3, which apparently holds 30 FPS, and it's unlocked so it can get above that. The target appears to be at this time 1080p, 30 FPS for many of these big mainstream titles. Again, keep in mind, this is a very general processor because it's also running Windows and everything else that goes along with that. Whereas if you would maybe repurpose this or create a custom Snapdragon chipset, maybe also in collaboration with AMD or something, you would have that more gaming focused and could probably get more out of it for developing specifically for it, especially since they also have native super resolution for Windows on ARM, and that would help with just overall frame rate in some of these more demanding games. And I think a lot of this is starting to make more sense on why we saw those leaked documents from the FTC and Microsoft with Xbox when they were going over the whole Call of Duty acquisition, that they were exploring the idea of ARM. Well, now we're seeing ARM, really tap into AI and do things that Intel and AMD cannot do currently with their processor after this event that was shown off with, yes, some stuff that was very questionable, where they'd be recording your screen and basically letting you Control Z any of your actions in Windows. But still, this, along with gaming and that being intertwined, makes sense why Microsoft might have gone, can we do ARM for next generation, for the console, as well as a handheld, and have it all work together in tandem? That might be the vision and the future here, but my question is, can they pull that off by the end of 2026? Because that feels very soon, and based on what we've seen here and how expensive the machine is that it's going into, that's not really set up for the consumer market with game consoles that, right now we're seeing cap at 500, maybe go up to 600 with the PS5 Pro, but with the big promise being AI and maybe mobile, would that be the thing that really pushes people over the edge to spend $700 or $800? I don't necessarily think so, but it's certainly something to keep an eye on here as we're seeing with ARM and the Snapdragon processor continue to evolve over the next couple of years. And before we go to the comments of the day, we'll take a look at the poll that I posted up yesterday, where I ask, how do you experience the audio when playing games? I was very curious. Obviously, I'm playing Hellblade 2 right now, and you want to use headphones for it. And it looks like the majority of people do use headphones when they're playing their games, which, I mean, hey, if you're playing your Switch in portable mode or any of these PC handhelds, you plug in some headphones and you're good. You don't have to worry about annoying people around you. TV speaker, though, I mean, that's going to be the default for many people as well, or a sound bar there being third, and then full surround sound, which I do also have surround sound in my main gaming room there. So kind of have a mixture of all of those different things. But I will say headphones right now with Hellblade 2, that is, I think, one of the more impressive things next to the visuals. And I didn't talk about it earlier, but because I had this poll question coming up, it is impressive stuff. So if you do try out Hellblade 2, I mean, put it on a nice display, turn out the lights, put away any phones or anything, get some headphones on with some nice, get some nice headphones that have like the surround kind of set up for it. And it will legitimately blow your mind with some of the stuff they do. It, again, an experience, not necessarily a full-fledged game is what I expect from it. And we'll finish up with the comment of the day as you're seeing here. This is from R.L. Stein, saying there will most likely be a co-pilot button on the controller of the 2026 Xbox Next Gen console. I'm assuming it would replace the share button on present Xbox controllers. Yeah, I kind of agree with you. I think we're gonna have a new button, quote unquote, on the next gen Xbox controller that will activate your co-pilot, your AI that'll be there to assist you, whether it's in game specifically or even just at the menu. You're like, hey, what came out today? Or what's coming up next week? Can you show me games that are on sale? What backwards compatible enabled Xbox 360 games are $5 or less on the store? And it can pull that up for you in real time and then go through and be like, okay, well, which ones can I beat in less than 10 hours? Okay, now which ones had a Metacritic above 85? You see what I mean? You can try to filter these out just kind of as a conversation with an AI, yes, but one that can act quickly in real time and see what you're seeing on your screen. So when it comes to discoverability or even in games to help you, yeah, that might be the biggest technological leap we've ever seen in gaming. We always think of graphics, but when it comes to functionality like that, it is hard to comprehend exactly what they can do with it when they get that ball rolling. And ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it here for Newswave. If you enjoyed this video, guys, hit that like button. If not, hit the dislike. Leave comments down below about everything we talked about here today. Was the reviews for Hellblade 2 or Paper Mario? Are you picking either of these games up this week? And then also, what about IGN buying a bunch of other outlets? How do you feel about that in games media at this time? And then that Snapdragon processor, let me know if you're picking up either of the new Surface devices, whether it's the laptop or or I guess the tablet, the Pro, and if you're going to be trying out different games on it. Thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.